Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the business edition. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to catch the show live, see the kitty cam in action. But if you don't, you just want to catch the short clips, that's all right too. Glad to have you either way. Today we want to feature the Mint Mobile as my affiliate link of today. This is tlm.li/mm if you want to get more information. Mint Mobile is using T-Mobile's towers. So as long as T-Mobile is going to work from where you're at, it should work just fine for you. It works perfectly fine for me. I just switched to it back in December, and I could not be any happier with that, especially since I do not have to be paying Verizon this massive bill anymore. So with that being said, let's jump on into the business news. First up, Juul has been accused of having bought ads on Cartoon Network, Nick Jr., and other kids' sites. And they are being sued, I believe this is in Massachusetts, for intentionally targeting kids, including doing some ads to teach people how to get around age restrictions of buying these things. And this, people, is why the people in charge of Juul need to be beat in town square with raw noodles until they are done. So, this is bad for you. And people, oh, I know, vaping is so much better than smoking cigarettes. Here's a thought. Vaporizing anything into your lungs that shouldn't be there is not good. Stop it. Stop it. So anyway, and this is why we have such a big problem with this in our schools and things. I mean, as young as low as middle schools. You know, it's not just high school issues. This is the lowest middle schools. People are getting addicted to this, of course. No wonder, because, you know, middle school kids are watching Nick Jr. and seeing ads for Juul. So they are being sued. Let's see, there's other places. Let's see, there's a few places they were advertising as well. Juul also tried to rope in celebrities that appealed to teens, including Twilight stars Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson, Hunger Games star Jennifer Lawrence, and former child actor and musician Miley Cyrus. Lawsuit also alleges that Juul was at best lax about age verification for online purchases and let consumers create accounts with domain names associated with high schools. So this will be fun to see what happens with this. I'll be watching this case to see what happens. But anyway, yeah, that's exciting. Windows 7 just had another bug. Of course, we already had a bug last time, you know, where it's like the final update broke wallpapers on Windows 7. Glorious. So Microsoft was forced to put something out. This one actually doesn't have as much to do with Windows as much as it was an Adobe update. For you guys using Windows 7 and Adobe, an Adobe update broke Windows 7 where it wouldn't shut down for you. So Microsoft officially ended Windows 7 support for non-paying customers on January 14th, but the companies had to push out another free update a week later, and it might be forced to do it again. So again, this was from an Adobe update is what it appears to be. You could get around it by running Group Policy Editor or Alt-Control-Delete, or there were a few other things. Hey, just hold the power button down until the thing shuts down. There you go. Not a good way to shut down your computer, by the way. Unclear what have caused the issue. Some say it's the recent Adobe update that disabling Adobe Genuine Monitor Service. Oh, disabling the thing that Adobe is perpetually running on your computer to make sure you're not running pirated software. Yeah. Did you agree to install that? You probably did. You signed away your life to Adobe. I'll just stick with my GIMP. Thank you very much. And other applications that can replace my time with Adobe products. But anyway, that's exciting. So you guys still using Windows 7, let me know if you're having issues shutting down and what's going on with that. Well, this was a neat article here. So Tesla remotely removes autopilot from a customer's used Tesla without any notice. No, I don't want to autoplay your stupid video. All right, so Tesla, this is a fun one because person goes, it was a car dealership had the car. It was the personal car of the car dealership. Guy owns the car, uses it, whatever, decides to sell the car, so he sells it on his lot through his car dealership. Sells it to whoever the person was that bought the car, and shortly thereafter, the autopilot just stops working. They reach out, and Tesla's like, he didn't buy the original car, we're not making that work. And people, while I appreciate that a Tesla's out there in the market without autopilot, I do appreciate that, because I think autopilot should be just permanently disabled across the board anyway. But that being said, the fact is, this is a company who can literally control everything down to your car. Okay, all you guys whining about the environmental impact, remember this: Tesla, through software, decreases the battery efficiency of your car. How do we know this? Well, because if there is an emergency and people need to flee the area, they just turn on the ability to drive further in the car. Isn't that exciting? And so this is the problem and the danger with having a company having that much over-the-air support with what your car is. I want to go out, buy my car, whether I buy it from the dealer or some schmo down the street, as long as I'm actually getting, a real legal car, of course. I want to be able to take this car and have zero connection back to the factory. Period. It's my car, especially with how expensive cars are. You want to give me a Tesla? Sure, do whatever you want to it. I don't care. But for you morons paying $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 for a car that someone else can just go, turn off. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Stop. Stop giving money to a company that has that much control over your vehicle. After some back and forth, Tesla actually responded back. There was a lot of documents here about all this kind of stuff. And at the bottom of the article, they finally said, so this guy here, he basically comes back. We're going to pick up down here. He did come back and test drive a few days later. We both agreed it was a technical difficulty or bug that would be fixed by the next software update. Since then, Tesla has been of no assistance to him, and I have been doing my best to get him some help in the case. I sell dozens of Teslas a year. Sold my father-in-law a Model X P90D with the ludicrous speed package. The ludicrous speed package. What are we, 5 years old? I thought 16 was the driving age. Oh, I need to have my car with ludicrous speed. 60 days after the purchase, Tesla removed the speed package. Upon complaints to them, they said he never paid for it. We have video evidence and multiple pictures of the vehicle with it. They even removed the line under the P90D. I am still shocked at these acts. So, very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. I'm telling you, this is not a company that I think that we should be supporting overall. All right, I just had to throw this one in because, screw you, Blizzard, go die. NVIDIA has forced to remove Activision Blizzard games from GeForce. So you guys using GeForce, is this an online? I don't even really know the context behind this. NVIDIA GeForce is now shaping up to be a decent way for hopping onto the cloud gaming bandwagon, but the service recently took a hit from Activision Blizzard, who've decided to remove their entire catalog of games. I believe they removed them because they're going over to Google's platform? Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. People, stop giving Blizzard your money, please. At least until they start becoming a decent company again. But stop giving them your money. That would help us out all tremendously. All right, this one here is a hilarious article. DoorDash is learning just how binding arbitration is, i.e. it sucks. So this is a neat case, and I watched another video from Leonard French Day breaking this whole thing down. Very, very hilarious. So this is actually from Judge William Alsop, who actually knows a lot about technology, and I loved his final decision making. He basically said, like, y'all wanted this, y'all get to eat it too. And so what happened is they had some issue with a bunch of their customers, and then the customers wanted to sue them in a class action lawsuit. DoorDash canceled the class action lawsuit saying you guys all agreed to arbitration. So it was 4,000 of them all came in to do an arbitration. And now DoorDash is trying to get out of the arbitration by settling the whole thing in one class suit. The judge looked and said, no, you morons, you blocked the class action suit. You wanted arbitration. So now they end up paying, I think it's like $9 million is what they had to pay. Yeah, so DoorDash is now on the hook for $9.5 million in 4,000 individual arbitration fees to the major arbitrator that is involved. So they're like, no, you have to go binding arbitration. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. So they all ponied up all at the same time. They're like, we can't pay this. We're going to close all this down and settle it in one lump sum. The judge is like, no, you're not. You wanted binding arbitration. You're doing binding arbitration. Judge gave him 14 days to respond. So they're either going to need to pay it or get an appellate decision in that time before everything about all of the details goes public and they get slapped by ALSA. Way to go, Mr. Judge. Slapping down some company. Maybe this happened to more companies. We'd have a lot more people be like, maybe we do not force people into binding arbitration. It actually kind of hurts a little bit. And basically what this means is the reason you want to do binding arbitration is because the documents stay private. But the judges basically said, we are opening all of this up to the public in 14 days, unless you have an appellate judge tells me otherwise. So way to go. All right, feature story. Google Chrome is going to start to block insecure downloads in coming months. Sorry, Dave, you can't have that PDF. Yeah, that's right. Now, it's not as bad as the headline says. It's mixed content, insecure from mixed content. So what this means is if you have a poorly configured web server, which unfortunately most of the internet is poorly configured, you have a poorly configured web server that technically has an SSL, but they don't have the proper either HT access or otherwise directing thing to force everything to download through that SSL, then you can get what is called a mixed content page. Now, some web browsers in recent months have started to actually block any content that's mixed content, which I find is frustrating, actually. Sometimes it's hard to figure it out, especially all these third-party sources. You never know if something's coming in secure or insecure. And you don't want part of your site blocked by that. And so what's happening here is if you have one of these mixed content sites where they have an SSL, but the download is occurring without an SSL, Google Chrome is just going to block it. Now, it's not going to be all at once. So starting with 81, we have a warnings. Starting in 82, we have, so this is a console warn, this is a pop-up warn, and this is a block. So with 82, any executables, in other words, an exe or an APK, for you guys who download Android apps, you'll get a pop-up warning prior to this. Starting with 83, blocked, can't do it. 81, we have, let's see, was it 83? Any archives, so zips, and for those of us Linux guys downloading our ISO files, if those ISO files are not SSL on an SSL site, it's going to block us in 83. It's going to warn us in 83 and block us 84 and on. Other files, PDFs, 84 warns, 85 blocks, and images, MP3s, things like this, which basically means anything on a mixed content site that does not load through the SSL is going to be blocked starting in 86 or later. How exciting, isn't that so cool that Google wants to be our big brother and block us from doing bad things on the internet by downloading things? What if I really, 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 really want that file and I don't really care if it's secure or not because it's a, it's an animated GIF of Pepe the Frog dying or something? Give me my Pepe! Release Pepe the Frog, people. I mean, come on. Let me know your thoughts about this, other things in the comments down below. You can help support the channel. Have a look at the links in the description down there. We have Patreon, thinklifemedia.com, a few other resources. They're all down there in the comments in the description box down below. So thanks for coming along and let me know your thoughts.